going to call the Thursday, May 19th, 2022 meeting of the Hamilton County Legislative Body to order. At this time, I'm going to ask Mayor Britton if you would lead us as we pray, please.
Please pray with me. Father God, we come to you this afternoon just giving you thanks for this day that you've given us and all the blessings that you provide us. Lord, we pray tonight that you guide us in all decisions that we make, that it all pleases you and is for your benefit and for your kingdom in this community. Lord, we pray this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Goin if you would lead us in our pledge to the flag.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Commissioners, if you've not already done so, please turn your mics on. We have a problem with one of these. Okay. Okay, let's do the roll call, please.
Present, 2 absent.
We do have a quorum present, so we are open for business. We have no recognitions or nominations at this time. Chairman Staff of the Calendar and Rules Committee, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Item 3A, approval of consent calendar items. I put in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 3A, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 3B, approval of regular calendar items. I put in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 3B, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The calendar is approved.
I don't have Chairman.
The chair would entertain a motion at this time that the consent calendar be approved.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Doty moves and Commissioner Akers seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 4A, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved. At this time, we would entertain comments from the public concerning agenda items only. We do have 2 requests that have been submitted for 5 minutes, and so Edna Green, you're recognized at this time.
Edna Green, 4981 Cameron Road. I noticed that you have under the Finance Committee some items regarding the jail. I would ask you to pay close attention to everything involving the jail, change orders and all, and be more vigilant in checking the bills and asking questions. Last time that I sat in a meeting with Mr. Pettit, he discussed with you folks about E&O insurance for the architects. Not one of you asked a question about that. And most of you, if you've done business, should know what E&O insurance is. It's errors and omissions. Tax preparers, business people carry it to cover their liability. I would appreciate if you would man up or woman up, what do you choose to use tonight, and start asking questions. Some of you will be leaving us in September, so please stand up and act like men and women and ask questions. It's the taxpayers' money that you're burning tonight. It's not your money. It's the taxpayers' money. And that money will be used other places if you conserve it. We are in deathly need of better roads. Most roads that you're on will jolt you to death, like you're riding in a Conestoga wagon. And for you young folks that don't know what that is, it's a rough ride. but you just need to step up. Some of you have made the remark that you did what was right, that you were a team player. I'm not asking you to be team players tonight. I'm asking you to do what's right. Stand up for the citizens of Hamlin County. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. At this time, Linda Noy, you're recognized.
Linda Noe, Joe Stevens Road. I had put on the request agenda item 10, XX or 20. That is the public safety projects, or removing money from their debt service and putting it into architects' public safety projects. It's for the 540 North Jackson Street house, which I believe, please to be corrected if I'm wrong, I believe that's the former Hyde House. And then 325 East 3rd North Street. I think Mr. Britton could tell us more about the East 3rd North Street and perhaps any connection he has to that organization. And as Ms. Green said, it would be very appropriate for you to ask those questions, or perhaps he'll volunteer it. The other item I would like to mention, in your packet you have information about debt service on the jail. Now, of course, there's been mention about, oh, we got it at a premium, you know, we're paying $91 million for $98 million, and remarks like that. But nobody's ever talked about the interest we are paying on, whether it's $91 million or $98 million or whatever it is. So be sure you look in your packet, and be sure you know that when you issued that bond, it wasn't just $91 million. It is projected to be another $63 million in interest. So we have roughly $154 million jail justice center. What could we have done with that much money if we had just built a simple jail and connected it to a renovated justice center? The last thing I would mention on the agenda is the monthly checks. As you all know, you're being asked to approve checks that have already been written, cut, and sent out. Probably most of them have been cashed already. That is such a joke. There needs to be a better way, a more accountable way of addressing approval of checks. Or just forget it. But when you do get to that, as I have asked before, I challenge any one of you, just one of you, to ask the county attorney in his bills, and you can make it for 2022, has he been including in those invoices that you're going to be approving payment of, payment for his attendance at the Finance Committee meetings and the Hamlin County Legislative Body meetings? Because if he is, or if he has, and I'm just talking about 2022, I think he knows what he bills for. I hope he does. Then you should know that before you approve possibly paying him a second time for what he's already been paid for. Remember, he gets a salary of $100 a month under the Private Act for two things: for attending Finance Committee meetings and the legislative body meetings. He's paid for that. Is he billing a second time? And are you going to, if he is, are you going to approve a double payment? As Ms. Green said, it's the public money, and of course most of you, I'm sure, are property taxpayers and sales tax and all the other fun things we get to pay, wheel tax. You should be concerned for your own money and for the money of those 65,000 residents of Hamlin County. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission regarding agenda items? You'll have 3 minutes to do so.
Good evening, guys. Chris Black, 7335 Evelyn Circle in Talbot. Tonight, I would like to address agenda item 10C and agenda item 10B. We'll start with agenda item 10C, dealing with the American Recovery Plan funding. In an email dated 10/25/21 from Mayor Britton, the subject is questions about the Justice Center financial plan. He says that the ARPA allows its funds to be used to support 5 main categories of recovery expenses. The first, supporting public health expenditures. The second, to address negative economic impacts caused by the public health emergency. The third, to provide premium pay for essential workers. The fourth, to invest in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. And the fifth, and this is the one that I want to focus on, to replace lost public sector revenue. In the budget meeting, I guess it was just this past Monday, I get my days confused, I apologize if I'm incorrect on that. He said that Hamilton County is set to receive $12.6 million in ARP money. The county has drawn down $6.3 million and will draw down the remainder in May, June 2022. Something that I want to kind of hit on here is just the use of this ARP money. If you look at prong 5, which was the replacement of lost public sector revenue, it seems that communities, particularly ours, I'll even bash Knox County, and you guys know how much I love Knox County. They're using this basically willy-nilly. I hate to use that term, but that's kind of what it seems to be. Just to fill the void where money didn't necessarily come in for these projects. But my problem goes even further, and I've been accused of lying about this by some of the commissioners, and heck, even our mayor, and saying that the county's financial position is weaker than what you guys would have us believe. It seems to me, and again, maybe this is just me thinking this way, but when we look at item 10B, which is the bond issue, and then we take what Ms. Noy just said, that it will, the bond due to interest will get us at $154 million, and you guys say that I'm lying. Some of you say I'm lying when I say that it's $129 million. We've now seen that jump due to interest. I'm not lying about this issue. And then Mayor Britton even admits in the same email dated 10/25/21 that if we need additional financing for any additional project, it will require additional revenue. My question to you guys is once again, how did governments get additional revenue? It's called a tax increase. Now I know it's before the election and y'all don't want to use the term tax increase, but it's coming. And I just want to be on the record of warning the people of Hamilton County that if they don't do something and wake up and quit voting R instead of, just straight down the daggone ticket R, we're going to get another tax increase.
This is not a political campaign. I think we need to stay on topic instead of worrying about Republicans and Democrats.
I did stay on topic. I'm talking about the American Recovery Plan Act.
It's R&D, yeah, right.
It's time's up. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission? Hearing none, then at this time, we are going to recess as the Hamilton County Legislative Body and reconvene as a beer board to consider a beer permit for a market on Henley Road, Morristown, Tennessee. If there's anyone here who wishes to speak in favor or against this beer permit, now would be a good time to do so. I believe Mr. Patel, you're here, so if you want to come to the podium.
So the beer permit is, the address is the home address, but the beer store name is Remy Market, which is located in Whitesburg. The store name is Remy Market, but the address is for the Whitesburg, it's near to the Whitesburg Road.
Okay,
So the address on that is just the home for the business.
okay, thank you. Is that correction?
Mr. Patel, do you have any past experience of violation of selling beer to a minor?
Yes, I do. One, when I just opened up the business and started in Jefferson County, I was just 21 at that time, but I had the license after that for like 9 years right now. After that, I never had. So when I started businesses the first time, I had that experience that I sold to minor, but after that, after 8 years, I had the license and everything in Morristown and Hamilton County City, but we checked the IDs and everything, and we never sold no one after that.
Are there any other violations that you've had with the beer board
No,
in the past?
none, none.
Mr. Chairman, that is inconsistent with the information that I have received.
Yeah.
And it's been within the 10-year period of time, too.
Okay. Anyone else?
Chairman, yeah, I was just gonna reiterate that, my understanding that he's had like 4 in the last 10 years, 4 felonies.
I think most of us have that information.
Mike Black, I just got beer permit and ticket, speeding ticket, that's all I got.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Patel. You can have a seat. Any comments from the audience? We're going to close this portion and reconvene as the Hamilton County Legislative Body. And the next item on the agenda is the beer permit for this establishment. What is the will of the body? It's on the board. We need a motion to approve or disapprove.
Chairman, I make a motion, we disapprove it at this time.
Okay, we have a motion
I
that we
second that.
disapprove. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. If we didn't, Mr. DeBoer.
I'll need him to select the second.
Yeah, select. All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion?
Chairman, I'd like to make sure what we're voting, how we're voting. This motion is for denial.
Yes. That's what the motion is.
And the denial, again, would be for violations within the last 10 years.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 7A, 10 yea, 2 nay.
All right, the permit is denied. Okay, we're going to, once again, recess this body, and we're going to reconvene to consider a resolution to amend the zoning map of Hamilton County by rezoning District 5, tax map 049, parcel 006.01, and District 5, tax map 041, parcel 010.00. It's located on Sugar Hall Road. All right, you want to address that?
Certainly.
Okay.
And good evening to the commission. This request comes from property owners Charlotte Long, Ann Lemons, John Lemons, and George Lemons. They said they submitted the request to rezone 2 properties located along South Sugar Hollow from A1, which is agriculture and forestry, to I1, which is the county's industrial district. Both parcels are within the city's urban growth boundary area. The larger of these 2 parcels is 35 acres in size and located opposite the access for Clinch River hardwoods and hideaway doors, which are both zoned for industrial use. The second parcel, which is 19 acres in size, is south of the first parcel, about a quarter of a mile. The property sits across from Ready Mix Concrete Plant, which is again zoned for industrial and commercial uses. The applicants have been approached by a company wishing to use both lots for the storage of new and recycled asphalt materials and large equipment used for these same companies. Possible future use would include a manufacturing plant and/or concrete plant, which are both allowed within the county's industrial zoning district. Per the city's road plan, rezoning request in the UGB go before the City Planning Commission for their recommendation, and the Morristown Regional Planning Commission did vote to forward a request to approve, or voted to approve the request to the Hamilton County Commission at their April meeting. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Do any of you have any questions you want to ask her before we receive public comments? I don't think they have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone present who wishes to address either for this rezoning or against this rezoning? Hearing no comments, then we're going to close the comment section and reconvene as a Hamilton County legislative body. And item number 9, the chair would entertain a motion dealing with this rezoning request.
So moved.
All right, push your button on your screen.
Ah,
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 9A, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The request is approved. Chairman DeBoer of the Finance Committee, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On item 10A, the approval of the monthly checks, I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any comments? Hearing none, then let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10A, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10B, Resolution 2211, interest earnings from bond issue. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10B, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10C, Tennessee ARPA spend money. I put that in the form of a motion as well.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10C, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10D, Air Medcare Network membership. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10D, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10E, banking bid. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10E, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F1, Hamilton County Board of Education Budget Amendment 6, increase of $1,488,540.75. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion again.
Item 10F1, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F2, Fund 101, Archives and Preservation of Records for $8,680, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion.
Item ten F2, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F3, Fund 101, Circuit Court for $1,500. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item ten F3, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F4, Fund 101 for the coroner, that's $7,800. Put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item ten F4, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F5, Fund 101, County Clerk's Office for $10,000. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item ten F5, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F6, Fund 101, Courtroom Security for $100. And I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Let's vote the motion then.
Item ten F6, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F7, Fund 101 for jail, $24,000. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Let's vote the motion then.
Item ten F7, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F8, Fund 101 for jail, $1,000. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion then.
Item ten F8, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F9, Fund 101 for juvenile court, $250. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion then.
Item ten F9, there are 11 yea, 0 nay, and 1 abstain.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F10, Fund 101 for litter grant supplements, $4,537. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion.
Item ten F10, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F11, Fund 101, other facilities maintenance, $5,600. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Commissioner Stepp, you're recognized.
Yours, Chairman, my bad.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please. Commissioner Hetshaw.
Item ten F11, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F12, Fund 101, Parks and Fair Boards, $4,850. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item ten F12, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F13, Fund 101 for Property Assessor, $800. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please. Commissioner Stepp.
Item ten F13, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F14, Fund 101, Rabies and Animal Control for $2,675. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Commissioner Neesmith, you're recognized.
Randy, what is this?
It's moving money within the animal control budget to cover overtime, where we've had some vacancies in the animal control officers, and we've had more overtime for the one who's been on duty while we hire. And so we've moved money from the deputy line and the longevity line to the overtime line, into the supply line. So it's just an internal movement of money.
Anyone else? Let's vote the motion then.
Item 10F14, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F15, Fund 101, Civil Defense for $687. Put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion then.
Item 10F15, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F16, Fund 101, Sheriff's Department for $22,486.40, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F16, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F17, Fund 116 for Garbage and Sanitation Department, $81,000. Put that-
We need a motion and a second. Commissioner Lee Smith, you're recognized.
Randy, is this part of the money where they want to buy parts or?
Yes, it's for additional parts to last through the end of the budget year.
Which ends next month.
Correct.
Why can't that be put in this next year's budget?
It is. Well, I mean, he's gonna have repairs during the next month, so we need money in this year's budget for that. And then we have increased in the garbage budget, I think $25,000 for this type of thing.
So this 81,000 won't be coming up anymore? Won't be coming up in this year's budget?
This is diesel fuel and gasoline included in this budget amendment too. It's not all maintenance and repair. We got $50,000, which may be an overestimation, but we want to get through the end of June with that line item. Then there's $26,000 for diesel fuel and $8,000 for gasoline. There's $2,000 for towing services. We've had more towing this year than in the past, so there's 4 items included in this budget amendment.
How much is the maintenance money? How much you talking about there, Barry?
We started with $120,000, I believe.
I mean for parts.
Well, this maintenance and repair line item includes parts, oil, it might be a hydraulic cylinder, it might be an engine part, it might be an emission part, it might be anything. All that's included in that line item.
Thank
And Mr. Poole, the dollars go back into the fund if they're not needed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is only to cover anything that we have a shortfall on?
Yes. It's an aging fleet and it's taking more, of course, parts and maintenance items have gone up in cost this year, so it's a combination of things.
Anyone else? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F17, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F18, Fund 116 for Sanitation Management, that's $7,000, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second, any discussion? Let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F18, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F19, Fund 122 for Drug Enforcement, it's $900, I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second, any discussion? Let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F19, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F20, Fund 128 for Drug Use Abatement Fund for $5,000, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Let's vote the motion, please. Commissioner Neesmith.
Item 10F20, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F21, Fund 131, Highway Department for $3,000, I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Let's vote the motion.
Item 10F21, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F22, Fund 131 for Highway Department, 28,760, I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F22, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F23, 151 for debt service, $114,251, I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F23, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 10F24, Fund 101, Sheriff's Department for $3,900, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 10F24, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBoard. At this time, the chair will recognize Commissioner Chairman Chris Cutshaw of the Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Before we start in personnel, I'd like, we just covered a lot of stuff in the Finance Committee. I think it ought to be duly noted that all of that was interfund changes, except for one, and that was the $7,800, I think, for the coroner, something we couldn't help. So I just wanted, there was a lot of action there, and in our work session, we covered this. I just wanted everybody to understand that all this that changed hands was already interfund balance changes. Now, back to the Personnel Committee. Item 11A, the Educational Reimbursement Program. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 11A, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 11B, the Educational Support Policy. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 11B, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.